I love creating sculptural elements for jewelry, such as buttons for bracelets or decorative elements for pendants and earrings. To test these designs, I need to cast them in metal. I found that one of the easiest and fastest ways to do this is sand casting using pewter. I have several patterns now, and I'm testing how well they work for sand casting, especially whether any parts of the design catch or pull the sand when I remove the pattern. The first step is simply making an impression in the sand. If the impression looks clean and the pattern can be removed without damaging the mold, I can move to the second step and push the metal. I really like using pewter for these tests because it melts at a relatively low temperature, flows well, and can be remelted immediately. It is a very convenient method for quickly testing different designs. Right now I am planning to cast several versions in different sizes. I'm also trying to figure out the best way to make the patterns themselves. For example, should I add a small handle or stem that I can pull to remove the pattern from the sand? Or is it better to keep the pattern without any additional elements? Sometimes I miscalculate how much metal I need for casting. I'm thinking about finding a simple way to estimate the required amount before melting the pewter. For example, I could determine the volume of the model. Now I'm trying to cast some smaller pieces. One thing I don't really like is that even with a small design, if the entire cavity is filled with metal, the final piece can become surprisingly heavy and bulky. So I decided to test an idea. As you can see, I'm using a metal jewelry tool to press into the metal while it's still soft, creating a hollow area so the piece doesn't end up too thick. I think this method actually has some potential. Next time I want to try using wooden balls, basically a stick with wooden ball on the end. I think the wood should tolerate the temperature of molten pewter long enough for this process, while absorbing less heat than a metal tool. That might give me a little more working time to create the hollow shape. These are some of my other molds, and I still have many designs I want to test. My next experiment will be to keep some of these pieces in plastic, paint them gold, and see if they can actually be worn as jewelry without casting them in metal at all. If you have any questions, ideas, or experience with this kind of process, I'd be very happy to hear your thoughts.